Jess here from Original Ink by Jess. I am an office assistant and volleyball coach from Arizona. Here we talk all things money, and together let's become more financially savvy and create budgets that go with our lifestyle. In this video, we'll be talking about different types of budgeting methods. I'll be going over the most popular ones, what they are all about, the things that you might need, and the pros and cons of each of them. So let's get started. Alright you guys, so I got you set up here with my MacBook, and I created a short presentation for you guys so I can stay on track and so you can get the best information you can. So to start off, what is budgeting? So to simply put it, budgeting is a living and breathing plan for your money so you don't spend too much or too little. And I got this definition by Tim Jordan. He is a financial coach and I follow him on Pinterest and I get a lot of great ideas from him. So go check him out if you're interested. Alright, the top 5 budget methods. That would be cash only budget, credit only budget, 50-30-20 or the balanced money formula, zero-based budget, and finally the no budget. So the first one, cash only budget. The definition: cash only budgeting, or more popularly known as cash envelope budgeting. This is where you use physical cash for living expenses and bills. The benefits of this budgeting method would be cash envelopes are popular because of visual representation it gives, and once you spend the cash, that's it, it's gone. So you don't really technically overspend too much. Now, what to expect if you do decide to start budgeting with this method? When you are dealing with cash, there's always a chance of things getting stolen or lost. So make sure you're very careful, because it would be really bad to lose all that money or get it taken, and then you're kind of caught in a pickle on how to basically live if you don't have your cash anymore. So just be mindful of that. The next thing is, it's very important to stay organized. There are plenty of wallets online that can organize your money so you don't lose it. And also you gotta be aware of, you're gonna have change sometimes, so everything is not gonna be an even dollar amount, so you will have to have like a coin purse or wallet or anything to keep your change in while you're on the go. And lastly, some places don't accept cash now. Since the pandemic hit, a lot of people are trying to touch stuff a lot less, so that's why people are accepting credit and debit cards a lot more than cash. So just be aware of that. And then, what do you need to get started? I do have a budgeting essentials video on my channel already, so go check that out. I go into detail of some of the stuff that you will need for this method. The next thing we have are cash only budget still. So my opinion, in today's world, cash is kind of inconvenient. There's a lot of places, like I already said, they don't accept cash, and then sometimes you don't want to be fidgeting with cash when you're on the go. You got to get in, get out real quick, and it's really hard to be at that register trying to count up the coins or try to count up the dollars to pay for whatever you need. So I have done this method. I will say that it did help me really realize how much I spent on certain things. So I will say cash spending is kind of great for people who are just getting into budgeting, because you really visually get to see how much you're spending on what things, and that helped me get more self-control on overspending. My advice to you is to check out the Budget Mom. I believe she is queen for this budgeting method. She's gotten herself out of debt. She's helped thousands of people control their finances as well with this budgeting method, and I just feel like she just clearly gives the advice that you need with no fluff. She's honest and everything like that. My other piece of advice would be do your research. Know what type of lifestyle you live. So if you're on the go and you're a mom or a dad or a student or whatever, and you're really on the go, it's very important that to know what kind of lifestyle you have, because cash might not be convenient for you if you're so on the go and you don't really have time to be counting out your cash. So just keep that in mind and check out the type of lifestyle you have, and I think that'll help you decide whether cash only budget is right for you. All right, moving on to credit only or debit only spending. So this is where you literally use just your card to pay your living expenses and your bills. So everything is digital. The benefits of this budget method is convenience, and it automatically tracks all your spending. So every time you swipe that card, you already know. You can just go back to your bank statements and see, oh, yep, I spent $20 at Target, or yeah, I spent $10 at Chick-fil-A. So everything's automatic for you, and it's real easy to swipe that card. Now, what to expect. When dealing with card, there's always a chance of overspending. Now that I am a credit card spender only, I do run into that problem of overspending, but I have more self-control now. So if you really struggle with having self-control and overspending, the credit card method might not be the one for you. Also, it's important to stay organized so you can know how much you have left, since you're not dealing with cash, because once you have cash, it's gone. But with credit cards or debit cards, you're just swiping and swiping and swiping until you maybe get an alert on your phone saying, oh, your bank account has been overdrawn. So just be mindful of that so you don't get those overdraft fees. Another thing, like I already stated, sometimes card can be inconvenient. There are some places like the gas station by my house, they do charge a fee for debit. So sometimes it's like, ugh, why do I have to pay 50 cents to pay for this service? Like, come on now. But you also have to be mindful these businesses have a lot of fees they have to cover, and sometimes they do put that on the consumer. So it's okay to have a little bit of cash for those times where you don't want to be charged those extra fees. Lastly, like I said, for this budgeting method, I already have an essentials list for this budgeting method, so you can go check that out on my channel. And now my opinion about this method. In today's world, credit is very convenient. We are becoming a society of very digitalized world. So everything is, you can pay for your dinner on your phone now or on your Apple Watch. So I really feel like in the next few decades, cash is going to be of the past. So if you're really interested in getting on with the times, this budgeting method will help you out. It will take practice to make sure you don't overspend, but I think it's worth it because for me, when I was doing cash, it was a safety issue for me because I do live in Arizona and I live in one of the most major cities here. So crime is relevant in my city. So being a 5'2" girl in the city and carrying a whole bunch of cash with me is not really a smart move on my part. So that's why I switched over to credit. And then I really didn't need that visualization of the cash anymore because I worked so hard to make sure I stayed on budget. My advice for you is to check out the Budget Mom. She also specializes in using credit and stuff like that. So she can also help you with that. Like I said, do your research and see if it fits your lifestyle. That's the main whole point of budgeting. If it doesn't work for you, then don't do it. Budgeting is a very personal thing, and what works for you may not work for me, and what works for me may not work for you. So make sure you just do your research. The next budgeting method we have is the 50-30-20. So that's 50%, 30%, and 20%, or also known as the balance money formula. So that's 50% of your income goes to the needs, 30% goes to wants, and 20% goes to savings. The benefit of this, it's very simple and it's easy and straightforward to manage. What to expect? You will need to use percentages to figure out, to make sure you're in the formula and how it's supposed to work. It's important to stay organized and have a system that tells you where you are in your spending so you don't overspend. And you could either use the cash or card method. It doesn't really matter for this as long as you're in the percentages. You can also check out the list of budgeting essentials for this on my channel. Now, my opinion. I don't like dealing with percentages. It kind of confuses me and things like that. So that's why I've never done this budgeting method. But if you really like the math part of budgeting, this is definitely the budgeting method for you, because you get to work with all the decimals and numbers you want. And then one person that I have found that is really good at doing this is Hodge-Green. I follow her on YouTube. I follow her on Instagram. I love her graphics and things that she uses to show her percentages. And it's really clean and precise, which is really cool. But I just don't like percentages. Next thing is do your research, like I already said, and see if it fits your lifestyle. If it doesn't, don't do it. And now we are on to the zero-based budget, which is zero-based budgeting is where the money you have in income matches exactly what is going out of your account. In other words, every dollar has a job. The benefits of this, very simple and easy to manage. My tip though is always have a buffer in your checking account so you don't go in the negative and get all those banking fees. We're trying to save money and use our money wisely, people, not give our money all to the bank. We already give our money to the bank by having them hold on to it for us. So we don't need to be giving them any extra reason to take more of our money. All right, moving on, what to expect. Obviously, you'll give every dollar a job. It's important to stay organized. That's with any budget, in my opinion. So you know you won't go over. And this obviously can be applied to cash or card. It doesn't really matter. And now, in my opinion, having where you know where every dollar will go, I think is very important. I feel like the zero-based budget can be applied to any type of other budget, because basically that's what you're doing with any other budget. Safety is not really an issue, but depending on whether you're going to be a cash spender or a card spender or both, then the safety issue goes up or down. I would recommend trying this if you like knowing exactly where your money will go and how it needs to be spent. My advice is also to check out the Budget Mom once again. She's really good at the zero-based budget. Do your research and also see if this fits for your lifestyle. And the last one for my top 5 is the no budget budget. Yes, people, this is the thing. I know my boyfriend uses it, I know my sister uses it, and my brother definitely uses it, and my mom. So this is, I think, one of the most popular things that people don't realize they're doing. Because regardless if you're actually that really avid budgeter where you have those binders, you are color coding everything, you have everything super organized, having a no budget is a budgeting method, which is kind of crazy, but it makes sense as I go on. So basically, the definition for this is the only thing you have to pay attention to is your bank account balance. There isn't even any tracking. Just make sure your account doesn't go into the negative. The benefit. The only benefit that I see is that you don't have to do all that extra work of planning everything out. What I do suggest though is you automate all of your savings and your bills, because you don't want to be late on any of your payments, and then you also want to save for your future and also invest for your future. So we're developing assets and we're building up our network, so it's very important. Already, like I said, it's important to make sure you have that buffer so you don't go into the negative. What to expect? You may run into problems of overspending. Like, that is one of the major things that you'll probably run into. There's no planning or organization, so if you're that type of person that hates organizing or planning, then this budget may be good for you. You can apply the cash or card method. In my opinion, there is so many problems with this budget, in my opinion. I'm the type of person that needs to be organized, and I need to know where my money is going, because in the past, when I first got my job, I blew my checks. I'm not gonna lie. I blew my checks for a good 6 months after getting my job, because I was living at home. I was young and dumb and really didn't have that many responsibilities, so I was blowing my checks like it was no tomorrow, like the money would never end. And I had to really mature and see that it's very important to make sure you know where your money's going, to build up your assets, to have money in the bank just for a rainy day. So I really don't like this budgeting method, but it's up to you whether it can work or not for you. I know for me, it definitely didn't, because I need that organization and that planning. And now that I am living on my own and with my boyfriend, it's important that I know exactly where my money is going so we can be responsible adults and make sure everything is taken care of. And then my advice for you is do your research and see if it works for you. I know for my brother and sister, it works pretty well for them. They do run into those moments of overspending, but overall, they really like how they have no budget. But I did talk to my brother, and he is interested in learning more about different budgeting methods, so he can really start saving and start investing way more. He definitely was the one that got me into investing, so he's already into that, but he says that he wants to better learn how to manage his living expenses that he does have while he's in college. All right, that is it. My final advice for you people is do your research and try it out. I've been budgeting for years now, and I'm still fixing my budget. It's a journey, people. You won't get it right on the first try. If you do, I envy you. I've been trying different budgets for as many years as I've been budgeting. So whatever works for you, keep doing it. If it doesn't work, try something else. When you're budgeting, it's all about a journey, and it's all about it being personal to you. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I would say do your research. If you need help, I'm willing to give advice or guidance and resources. Always remember, everybody, be you, stay true, be Original Ink, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.